Many of us grapple with or are currently facing issues with self-image insecurity and skepticism. However, imagine if I shared with you that the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy might hold the essential keys to boosting your self-confidence, enhancing your inner assurance, and helping you to dismiss the negativity that surrounds you. In the following minutes, I aim to demonstrate how Stoicism indeed offers insights that can achieve this, and I'll explain how we can apply these timeless principles to alter our perception of ourselves and the world around us. In this video, we'll delve into some of the origins of low self-esteem and explore specific Stoic strategies that can guide us on our journey to self-enhancement. We'll also offer practical steps for integrating these principles into our daily lives, enabling us to develop a stronger resilience against external pressures, an inner calm that stems from understanding our true selves and aspirations, and a robust sense of self-worth that bridges the gap between our current and ideal selves. Welcome to Orion Philosophy, where we examine, debate, and analyze practical philosophy for everyday use. Let's embark on the first step together. The first part involves understanding the foundations of self-esteem, where we'll explore some common causes. This won't be an exhaustive list, but rather a selection of common factors that many, if not all, of us have experienced and will examine individually. The three we'll cover are the unhealthy craving for others' approval, the feeling of shame or remorse over past actions, and the awareness of a discrepancy between our ideal self and our current state, along with the complex emotions like guilt and self-criticism that arise from this. Regarding the unhealthy craving for others' approval, the desire for validation from peers is quite common, and to a degree, feedback from others is essential for group cohesion. Yet, it can become excessive, especially with the advent of social media, where the pursuit of likes, shares, and comments has intensified. When we rely too heavily on external opinions, it can lead to low self-esteem if that validation is not forthcoming. This occurs because we've allowed our self-image to be overly dependent on external validation, rather than a balanced mix of self-validation and others' feedback. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot dictate others' thoughts or emotions, and by entrusting our well-being to them, we're placing it in something beyond our influence, making it fragile and susceptible to change. This leaves us open to disappointment, irritation, and doubt. Epictetus, a leading Stoic philosopher, taught that the path to a satisfying and serene life is to differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot, and to focus our energy on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. By doing so, our mental well-being becomes more robust against life's vicissitudes. He stated, "The main challenge in life is to distinguish and separate issues so that I can clearly recognize which are external and not within my control, and which involve my own choices. Therefore, where do I seek good and evil? Not in uncontrollable externals, but within myself, in the choices that are truly mine." Transitioning to the topic of feeling shame and regret over past actions, a diminished self-esteem can stem from a profound sense of shame or remorse about previous deeds or errors. When our actions clash with our identity, aspirations, or values, we may experience a visceral reaction as a consequence. The Stoics instruct us that ruminating on the past is unproductive, as we cannot alter what has transpired. Instead, we should concentrate on gleaning lessons from our experiences and making better choices moving forward, both in the present and future. In doing so, we acknowledge our actions, assume responsibility for their outcomes, and progress with the intention of improving our behavior in a manner that earns our self-approval. On this journey, it's crucial to recognize our humanity and the universal experience of regret. However, Accepting ourselves as a work in progress and moving ahead is far more beneficial than wallowing in self-recrimination. Next, we address the discrepancy between our ideal self and our current self, which can also contribute to a negative self-image. This is essentially the recognition of the gap between our current state and our desired state. It's not unusual to feel impatient, frustrated, or even guilty when comparing our aspirations with our reality. Nevertheless, we should motivate ourselves to acknowledge the gap and use it as a compass and catalyst for personal growth and development. We should refrain from berating ourselves for not achieving our goals yet. This would be akin to starting a cross-country drive and becoming irritated for not arriving after a brief period. Some achievements simply require time. By setting realistic goals and striving towards them, we not only feel a sense of accomplishment as we near our ideal self, but also demonstrate to ourselves our ability to follow a deliberate path, foster discipline, and eliminate bad habits. Gradually, as we bridge this gap, we'll develop a stronger sense of self-worth. Now, we proceed to part 2, which involves Stoic strategies to enhance our self-image. Here, we'll explore what Stoics actually practice and how we can apply these principles in our daily lives. For simplicity, this will be divided into 3 areas. The first area will concentrate on what we can control and relinquishing what we can't, drawing insights from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. The second part will involve nurturing independence from external validation, guided by Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor. Lastly, we'll examine how Stoics act in accordance with virtue, wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, with insights from Seneca, the Roman statesman and Stoic philosopher. Focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't, Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who was once a slave, emphasized the importance of concentrating on what is within our control while releasing what is not. This Stoic principle is fundamental to cultivating a resilient and robust inner peace. This peace is safeguarded from the vicissitudes of life because it is not contingent on external factors but on our internal selves. To effectively grasp and apply this concept, it's vital to recognize that our thoughts, actions, and reactions are the sole aspects of our lives that we have direct control over. External events, opinions, economic conditions, traffic, the stock market, and even the outcomes of our actions are all beyond our control. When we channel our energy into what we can influence, we foster a more stable and unassailable sense of self. For instance, when receiving criticism or negative feedback, while we cannot control the opinion or the delivery, we can control our response. We can choose to view feedback as a chance for growth and self-improvement, rather than letting it harm our self-esteem. Alternatively, if the feedback is malicious and untrue, we can choose to disregard it. Ultimately, there is always a more constructive path than allowing external events to hijack our emotions, leading to frustration, sadness, or anger. Epictetus once said, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" Faced with challenges or setbacks, we can focus on our reaction to events rather than the events themselves. In essence, Epictetus's teachings direct us to embrace our innate ability to shape our thoughts, actions, and reactions, enabling us to preserve our inner peace, resilience, and self-worth amidst life's trials and uncertainties. He also noted, "Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves." The second Stoic principle is fostering independence from external validation, which is arguably more pertinent today due to the pervasive influence of social media and the internet. You might be familiar with Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, a private journal reflecting his thoughts. Aurelius' writings indicate his understanding of the importance of developing a self-worth that is independent of external validation. He emphasized the need to act according to one's own beliefs, not the expectations of others. He wrote, "If any man despises me, that is his problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of contempt." He also contemplated the fleeting nature of fame, fortune, and the opinions of others, urging us to seek validation from within rather than depending on the fickle external world. Regarding fame, Marcus Aurelius penned, "Reflect on the lives of others long past, the lives yet to be lived by future generations, and the lives currently unfolding in distant lands. Consider how many are unaware of your existence and how soon your name will be forgotten. Think of those who praise you now, who might scorn you tomorrow. Realize that being remembered is as fleeting as fame, as ephemeral as everything else." Here we have the leader of the Roman Empire essentially declaring that fame holds no value. To cultivate this detachment from external validation, it's crucial to develop a robust sense of self-awareness and self-understanding. Without knowing who we are and understanding our cravings for fame and validation, as well as their impact on us, it becomes challenging to disentangle ourselves from these desires. This journey starts with introspection, dedicating time to contemplate our values, beliefs, strengths, and achievements. Acknowledging our intrinsic worth and the attributes that define us allows us to appreciate ourselves and the value we offer, independent of others' praise or criticism. Moreover, Marcus Aurelius underscores the importance of living by our internal values and principles, rather than passively adhering to societal expectations or the demands of others. By aligning our behavior with our own values, beliefs, and convictions, we experience a profound sense of integrity and self-respect, rooted in the knowledge that we are not easily swayed by opinions or the need for approval. Next, we explore the concept of acting virtuously. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, posited that leading a virtuous life is the pathway to genuine happiness and satisfaction. The Stoics identified four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. The Stoics advocated for integrating these virtues into our daily lives, believing that by embodying them in our actions, thoughts, and beliefs, we are on the path to a fulfilling existence. Wisdom involves the quest for knowledge, acting rationally, comprehending the world, and honing good judgment. By pursuing continuous learning, perceiving the world as it is, and making informed decisions, we draw closer to this cardinal virtue. Courage is the capacity to confront challenges, hardships, and fears with determination, even under pressure. Demonstrating courage showcases our character, our adherence to principles, and our faith in our abilities. Temperance represents moderation, self-discipline, and self-control. By exercising restraint and balance in our thoughts, actions, and emotions, we gain mastery over ourselves, which boosts our self-esteem. Justice embodies fairness, equality, and moral integrity. By acting justly towards others and ourselves, we forge a strong moral compass. To many Stoics, these virtues were the pinnacle of goodness, and behaviors that foster a steadfast and fearless mindset. Seneca wrote, "What prevents us from saying that the happy life is to have a mind that is free, elevated, fearless, and resolute, a mind beyond the reach of fear and desire, that sees virtue as the only good and vice as the only evil, and regards all else as a worthless mass of things that come and go without affecting the highest good. Such a mind, whether willingly or not, is necessarily accompanied by constant cheerfulness and the joy that springs from deep within, finding delight in its own resources and needing no greater joys than those it harbors within. Consistently reflecting these virtues in every aspect of life is no simple feat. Even Seneca recognized his own limitations, admitting in his dialogues, "I am aware that I do not live the life I advocate, but I am striving." And striving is all we can do. Finally, we arrive at part 3, the practical application of these principles. By integrating these ideas into our daily lives, we can narrow the gap between our current and ideal selves. For clarity, I've divided this into 3 steps. First, we'll explore how to define our ideal self and set clear goals. Second, we'll identify habits to adopt or abandon to close the gap. Lastly, we'll plan and implement these strategies in our daily routines. Defining our ideal self and setting clear goals is crucial. Typically, building something new starts with envisioning where we want to be. By crafting a detailed image of the person we aspire to become and how we wish to behave, we create a powerful guide for our thoughts, actions, and decisions. Seneca noted, "If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This means that without a clear destination, we cannot determine if our direction is beneficial or detrimental. To define our ideal self, we need introspection and self-discovery. We must reflect on our core values, strengths, and aspirations. Consider how Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice align with our beliefs and how we can incorporate them into our daily lives. Visualize how the ideal version of ourselves would act in various aspects of life, such as relationships, career, personal growth, health, and well-being. The more specific and detailed our visualization, the better it serves as a compass for setting goals and guiding our actions. Personally, I find meditation in a quiet space to be the best method for this visualization, but others may prefer journaling or voice notes. The key is to find what works for you. Once you have a clear vision, translate it into specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, the SMART criteria used in business. For instance, if you aim to be more disciplined and focused, a goal might be to establish a daily meditation practice within 3 months. By pursuing these goals, we embody the traits, principles, and virtues that define a fulfilling and purposeful life tailored to us. Next, we identify habits to start or stop to bridge the gap. After defining your ideal self and setting goals, evaluate your current habits to see which support your progress and which hinder it. This assessment forms the basis for transforming your life to match your ideal self. Begin by listing your habits and categorizing them as beneficial or detrimental to your goals. Honesty is crucial here, as we may be tempted to justify harmful behaviors. For each detrimental habit, find a replacement that aligns with your goals, such as substituting screen time with meditation or journaling. Conversely, identify habits to maintain or adopt that bring you closer to your ideal self, like regular exercise, a healthier diet, engaging hobbies, or dedicating time to learning. Be specific about how these habits fit into your daily routine to facilitate their implementation. Prioritize them based on their impact on your life and goal achievement. Personally, I focus on 1 or 2 habits at a time to avoid overwhelm and increase the likelihood of sticking with them. Sometimes, starting can be challenging, so choose the smallest action possible and build from there. This could be as simple as taking dishes to the kitchen, reading instead of gaming, uninstalling Instagram, or joining a gym and going once a week. We can always start small and gradually build. That's all for today. I hope you found something useful to apply in your life and move closer to your ideal self. Much of this advice is common sense, but we all forget simple tips and need reminders. I hope this has helped you too. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're interested in learning more, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Orion Philosophy, or visit orionphilosophy.com for blog content and the Orion Academy, which outlines 6 foundational principles for building a solid personal philosophy.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to receive great videos every day from the Quotes of Stoic channel. Goodbye and see you again.